And we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Born CEO Leadership Academy. I'm so excited. Coach Fardbell here, founder of Born CEO Leadership Academy and author, best-selling author of the book Born to Rule, which is about 7 steps to claiming your freedom and living your purpose. And so if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. You are in for a treat. We're on a mission to help more people, millions of people, become financially free and become the leader you were born to be. Tonight, we are in chapter 5 of my book, Born to Rule. And we're going to be going into clarify your vision. For those who haven't caught on yet, the 7 chapters and the 7 steps are an acronym that spells out the word Born CEO. So in session 1, episode 1, we went over step 1, which was about becoming the queen or king of your domain. In today's world, the closest thing we have in our society here in the United States to royalty, in my opinion, is the role of a CEO in a corporation. You know, a corporation is kind of like a kingdom in itself, and the CEO is like a king in our time, in our age. And so you'll hear a lot of correlation between this concept of born CEO and what that means. Go back and check out the first few episodes. It's available on YouTube as well, which I should put on the screen here. But the channel is Coach Fardbell or BornCEO.com, and you'll see the replays for these sessions. Right now, we're going through the series of each step, each chapter. The O in Born CEO stands for own your choices. We talked about the power of choice, taking charge of your choices and the consequences that come along with them. And no matter what choices we made in the past and the results that we've experienced because of them, we have the power and ability to choose the outcomes that take place because of our choices moving forward. One of my favorite chapters is chapter 3, where we talked about the R, which is rule your time. Rule your time. CEOs, kings, queens, and CEOs alike master their time. And because of the way we prioritize our time, it changes how our lives turned out. For those who remember, I shared how life is spelled T-I-M-E, because whatever we've traded our time for is literally what we've traded our lives for. And then the N stands for never stop growing. We've all probably heard it said that leaders are readers. As leaders, we have people that we're responsible for. We have outcomes that we're responsible for. We have problems that we're responsible for solving. And so we must continue to not only grow to learn new skills, but also grow in our identity and understanding who we truly are, so that we can truly transform into the best version of our true selves. In fact, I didn't share this last week, but that's my definition of personal development. True personal development and is the process of transforming into the best version of your true self. And that's an ever-going journey. It's an ongoing process. As leaders, as born CEOs, we never stop investing in ourselves. We never stop growing. We never stop transforming into the best version of our true selves. And then tonight, we're going over the C in Born CEO, which is about clarifying your vision. Clarifying your vision. And so let's get started with our traditional Born CEO introduction. We always start off with a key question. And that key question and visualization, I want everybody to imagine you have complete time and financial freedom already. You have complete time and financial freedom. You don't have to work for money anymore. It's like you have an extra 40, 50, 60 hours a week to live your life and to do what you were born to do, because you no longer have to work for money. So you've got complete freedom. You've got all the resources you need. Your family is already taken care of. And the question is, in this season of your life, in this state that I just described, if you can only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world using your gift, what would that one thing be? What problem would you solve? And what group of people would you be serving? I want you to really think about that. What comes up when you ask that question, when you visualize that space? You're not doing it because of money, because you're already free. Your time is available, so you don't have a lack of time, and all the resources you need to pull it off, whether it's people that have certain skills you don't have, whether it's um, um, money that you need, whether it's systems that you need. Everything you need to fulfill your assignment is available to you. What is the one problem that you're solving in this world that bothers you, or you're aspired to do something about? And what group of people would you be serving? So as we go through the Born CEO introduction, I'll go first. When you get to number 2, in fact, all you're going to do is read the 4 sentences and fill in the blanks, change my name to your name and fill in the blanks. But when you get to number 2, I'm asking you about your answer to this question when you share your dream, this problem that you're solving in the world, and this group of people that you're serving. What is your dream as it pertains to that? So I'll jump in and go first. My name is Coach Fard Bell, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is for millions of people to be free and serving their gifts to the world. Millions of people that don't have to worry about money, they're not worried about time, but they're serving their gift to this world. And my goal this year is to empower 12 more families to become financially independent so they can do just that. And once again, my name is Coach Fard Bell, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. And this is where we unmute the lines and cheer for our Born CEOs. Woo woo! And who's next? Those who have been around, go first. Show everybody new how it's done.
Well, I'll go next. My name is Selena Scott, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to I have to go back and buy these homes off of the market for the homeless men and women. And it's just a whole vision that God has given me for the blueprint. And that's my ultimate dream, is to fulfill it. And my goal this year is to continue to do my homework and my research so that I can get the information on the properties and see where they stand in the market right now. So I'm excited about that. And once again, my name is Selena Scott, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo woo!
Woo, 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 woo.
All right, who's next? Jump right in.
I'll go.
Yes, ma'am.
But do we say the same one, like if it's the same from last week, or do we have to say a new one? It doesn't matter.
Unless your dream changed.
I got several dreams. That's all I'm asking.
Your ultimate dream.
Okay. So my name is Chantel Gant, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help and assist young men ages 15 to 31, help them to get housing, be self-sufficient, like whatever they need. And my goal this year is to buy me another home so that I can make my home that I live in now the beginning of it. And then once again, my name is Chantel Gant, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Ooh, unmute, make some noise. Woo woo!
Ooh, ooh.
Who's next? Jump right in.
I'll go next. My name is Tawana Foster, and I'm the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to get resources to be available to help young men, young people find themselves. My goal this year is to start doing it. Once again, my name is Tawana Foster, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo, woo.
That's it. Woo,
Woo-hoo!
woo.
Who's next? Jump right in. If you haven't gone yet, it's your turn. And if you're joining us on Facebook Live and you want to get onto the Zoom, I just posted the Zoom link in the title of it, so you can jump on here and join us. All right, who hasn't shared yet?
I'll go.
Take it away.
My name is Evelyn Gavino, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to establish a center for divorced women to find back their confidence, get back their life together, supporting them. And my goal this year is to help 10 women specifically in retirement to bridge that income gap. Again, my name is Evelyn Gavino, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo, woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
All right, Miss Bridget, your turn.
No, I'm not there yet. I'll
You-
just observe tonight.
You want to just give it a shot? Like what? Something that's on your heart to do? Not
No,
All
not
right,
yet.
no worries. Welcome, welcome. All right, family. So I'm super excited because step 5 is about clarifying your vision, getting really clear on your vision. And one of my favorite passages on this topic, it says, write the vision clearly and inscribe it on tablets so one might easily read it. Or, write the vision and make it plain that they might run who read it. How clear is your vision? How clear is your dream? That's what step 5 is all about. And for those that are new to the Born CEO family, the Born CEO movement, we believe that everybody has something you were born to do. There's a gift that you were born to serve to this generation. And that's why we're here. And as we discover the gifts that we have inside and we step out and serve that gift to the world, what does the world begin to look like? Because we showed up. And so true leadership is not just leading to be leading. True leadership is not just leading to have followers. True leadership is not just leading to make money. All those are good things. Those are fine. But true leadership is becoming who we were born to be, discovering who you were truly born to be, what you were born to do, and actually pulling it off. And that's what this whole Born CEO movement is all about. That's what our nonprofit is about, helping people become who they were born to be, do what they were born to do, and live like they were born to live. Now, unfortunately, like most people, we weren't having these type of conversations as a kid. When I was growing up as a kid, people didn't say, hey, what were you born to do? What is your gift? I wasn't told to go figure out what your gift is and then make sure you choose your major in college based on the gift that you have, the calling that you have, the assignment that you have. I was taught to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and do what's got the most security in it, right? Do or pursue your passion, whatever you love. If you're good at music, then you're supposed to be a musician. That's the kind of mindset that I was growing up in, and most people have grown up in. The problem with that mindset is when we neglect to discover the gifts that are already inside of children, and we don't focus in on what their gift are that they actually are, the gifts are that they came here with, and we don't build an educational curriculum around them to help them hone their God-given gifts, their natural gifting, and then put them on the path to do it, we are actually doing them a disservice and doing the world a disservice. Because there's something magnificent that they were already gifted at doing. And please write this down. All the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your gift. All the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your gift. If that's true, then we don't have to usher our children into what we think is the safest career path. In fact, how many kids go to school, spend all this money, go into all this debt, and they never even pursue that career path that they spent all that money to pursue? I wish that I was more clear on my gift, my passion, my purpose before I chose my major in college. I would have been able to make a wiser decision with my education. But even though I didn't have that information, I was on the path. And so I started creating my own development plan that wasn't provided for me. So even though school had a curriculum, I was kind of following my own curriculum. Inside of school and outside of school, I was reading the books that I knew were connected to what God put inside of me. I was developing skills I knew would help me to accomplish what was inside of me. I knew that there was something bubbling up inside of me that I was put here to do, and I wasn't going to stop until I figured out what that thing was. And I also looked around and saw people who did not follow that path. People who had a job, maybe even making great money, but they were not happy with their lives. They didn't have fulfillment. If you ask them, what is your purpose? What is your life's work? At 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, 70 years old, too many people say, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. That is a huge problem. That's a huge problem. It is not supposed to be that way. We're not supposed to have to wait till we're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old to figure out what we were born to do and who we were born to be. And so part of my mission in life is to correct that and to get people on the path earlier. That's why I love reaching the youth. So if you have teenagers, young adults, college students, bring them here, introduce them, because the earlier we can help get this type of education in people, then the faster we'll find people who are equipped and not afraid to pursue their dream. And that's another big problem. So many people are afraid to pursue their dream. And it's not because they don't have the ability, it's because we haven't gotten the practice. What if we started practicing early on in life? What if we started our parents and our mentors and the authority figures and our educators were helping us to move forward and take baby steps early on towards our dream, towards our goal? What if there was a place to send people to hone their gifts and get mentorship and skill development? What if people were equipped to become entrepreneurs early on so that no matter whether they decided to get a job or whether they decided to create their own job around their gift, they could have the confidence and the courage to do so before ending up with thousands of dollars a month in bills and thousands of dollars a month in debt. This is a big, huge part of what we're about. But the good news is no matter whether we started this journey early or we're just starting this journey now, it's never too late to start becoming who you were born to be. It's never too late to start doing what you were born to do. And when you start doing what you were born to do and becoming who you were born to be, you will experience a level of fulfillment that people cannot understand. You'll have a level of peace in your life that people don't understand, a level of happiness, a level of joy that you cannot get anywhere else. But when you are in alignment with the very person you were created to be and doing what you were born to do. And when you add financial freedom on top of that, to where there's the debt is going away, the assets are increasing. Your retirement income is growing. I call it early retirement income, where you're becoming financially independent, where you can do what you were born to do without worrying about how the bills are going to be paid. That's a whole nother way to live. And that is truly how we were born to live. It is your birthright to live that way. And so we are on a mission. That is what this whole Born CEO message, this whole Born CEO movement is all about, is creating the environments, the resources, bringing together the people to help us truly claim our freedom and live our purpose. So a couple questions. First question is, what is your dream? What is your dream? We talked about that in the beginning. What exactly is your dream? And what will be required in order for your dream to become a reality? I want to talk about that. We always heard the phrase, how does a lion eat an elephant? That's how I like to say it. How does a lion eat an elephant? I don't know any people that eat elephants. But when a lion eats an elephant, it is true, they eat that elephant one bite at a time. And the topic I'm going to get into right now is to not be afraid. Do not be afraid of a big vision. Don't be afraid. You may have a vision or a goal or a dream that seems so big that you may be feeling like, I must be making this up because I can't accomplish that by myself. I don't have what it takes to do that. And if you ever remember those old cartoons where there's a little devil on your left shoulder whispering negative things in your ear, and there's a little angel on your right shoulder whispering positive, empowering things in your ear, that's kind of what life is like. And throughout our lives, that little angel is whispering, hey, there's something you were born to do. You're gifted to do this. You're going to do something significant in this world. And you have what it takes. And that little devil is whispering back, you don't have what it takes. You don't need to do that. Just go get a safe, secure job. That's enough. Just take care of your bills. Don't worry about anybody else. It's okay. You're doing better than most people. You're a good person. You know, you don't have to do much. You know, just go through life and just die and wait to go to heaven, right? Right? That's kind of that comfort zone that will creep in if we're not careful. And so what I want to share right now is to not be afraid of an elephant-sized vision. Don't be afraid of an elephant-sized dream. And so not only does a lion eat an elephant one bite at a time, but the part we don't hear about that I want to make sure you remember is that a lion doesn't eat an elephant by herself. Every time I watch the Nature Channel and I see an elephant get taken down, it's always a pride of lions, a team. And so by yourself, yes, maybe that elephant is too big. But if you break it down into small pieces, even you could take down that elephant. But you don't have to, nor are you supposed to. There are other people who will come beside you when you decide to pursue your dream, when you decide to do what you were born to do, when you decide to step outside of that comfort zone and even take the baby steps. There are going to be other people that have gifts that you don't have that are a part of this vision. There are other people that have skills that you don't have that are going to be a part of bringing this vision into fruition. There are going to be people that have resources that you don't have who are also assigned for this vision. Sometimes they're just waiting for you to show up with the dream. So what is it going to take in order to make your dream a reality? And the big question is it worth it? No matter how big it is it worth it? Is it worth the pursuit? Is it worth the impact? Is it worth the fulfillment? I know for me, I always think about standing at the end of my life in front of my Creator and giving an account for my life and ask the question, did you do what I sent you here to do? This is what I envision. My Creator asking me, did you do what I sent you here to do? And the worst thing I could say is, No, but I got a good job. No, but I had a great career. Oh no, I made a lot of money though. I helped some people along the way. I was a good person. Yeah, but the question I asked you is, did you do what I sent you here to do? What I put in you to do? Did you make the impact that I put in you to make? Did you discover who I created you to be? What did you do with your life? The great Dr. Miles Monroe, one of my best mentors, look him up on YouTube, everything he's got. In fact, I have a link at BornCEO.com/kingdom. If you really want to understand leadership on another level, check out Dr. Miles Monroe's work on leadership and on the kingdom. But he said, the definition of failure is success in the wrong assignment. Failure is success in the wrong assignment. Success in the wrong assignment is still failure. And I refuse to spend the rest of my days, whatever number of days I have left, and look back on my life only to realize that I was successful, but in the wrong assignment. What a waste. What an insult to my creator. What an insult to me. And what a disservice to humanity. So that's why this is so important. That's why I asked the question, is it worth it? Whatever it is, taking the baby steps, becoming the person, going through the process, growing through the process of discovering who you truly are, what you're truly gifted to do. And then what is that ripple effect? I know my son is watching me. I know others that I'm blessed to impact or influence or serve or mentor. They're watching me. And as I discover who I'm born to be and do what I'm born to do, it inspires others to become who they were born to be and do what they were born to do. And that ripple effect creates a domino effect all around the world. Yes, it's worth it. And if it is worth it, the question is, what is your winning plan? And so before I go further, I want to open up the line and hear from you all. How do you feel about this topic? What are your thoughts and feelings about this topic? Miss Bridget.
I'm blown away. I'm actually blown away that it's very true. There's just so much here that it really makes you stop and think that we're not using our gifts. We're not. It's being wasted. And you made it, the failure is success in the wrong assignment. That's how I feel in my job. I do my job very, very well. And I'm helping a lot of people in my job, but I could help more people outside of my job in a business that could help them be healthier financially, mentally, physically. So I do feel like I'm in the wrong assignment in the job. And that
Thank you
just
for,
hit home like, oh, right here. Makes me want to tear up.
I'm glad you showed up. You're in the right place.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
home. And thank you for,
Everything happens for a reason. And there was a reason I'm supposed to be here today. So thank you.
you're welcome. And I tell you what, first of all, thank you for your transparency and your vulnerability, because how many people can relate to that? Put it in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you can relate to ever feeling like you were becoming successful, but not in your right assignment. But number 2, Miss Bridget, I think I'm hearing a piece of your dream. And if I'm hearing you correctly, it has something to do with empowering people in their health.
Yes.
And that's part of what you feel like you're being tugged to do. And so when you join us again and share your name and your dream, We want to hear more about, but no, tell us now. Give us, what's your vision? If you could do one thing to make a positive impact in this world, what problem would you be solving and what group of people would you be serving?
I think I do some of it now, and I think just that people have to. I don't know. Gosh, where do I begin? I don't know. I mean, there's like it's all these things like come flowing in you all at once, right? Um,
What
I
bothers
work
you? What bothers you when you look at the world?
that
What is
people are
this?
so sick. That people are so sick, but it isn't. It isn't just sick from ailments. It's sick from not being mentally healthy, not having, always just letting, allowing society and all the things to make them mentally sick. And I say mentally because there's a lot of people that I work with, and it's the true thing of what you think about, you bring about. So if you think you're going to be sick and you think you're going to have a cold, you're sure fire bet you're going to get sick and you're going to have a cold. And that cold is going to then develop into something else because now you're dwelling on being sick. And then it goes deeper, and then it gets worse, and then it just compounds. But then you can watch those same people get healthy, not just physically, but mentally, when they change the mindset, when they start changing and thinking positivity and putting happiness in their everyday life, and not watching the drama llama stuff on TV, but really just empowering themselves to be a happier person inside makes them a healthier person physically.
Woo! Put up some fire, somebody. Show some love to Miss Bridget. Is there somewhere where you're sharing this message on a regular basis yet?
Yeah, a little bit on Facebook.
Okay, good. Good. Keep doing that. Did y'all see how the passion came when I kept digging in? Like, what bothers you? And she was like, ah, that one right there. That's a clue, family. I believe that when God looks at the earth and there's things that he wants changed that bother him, he takes a piece of that and places it in one of his children. And then we have that same feeling. And it usually starts off like this: somebody should do something about that, until we realize you are the somebody. That's why that was given to you, that passion, that burden. There's something that should be bothering you in this world, and it's something that you're gifted to do about it. Or there's something that you're inspired by, and you've got a gift where you could serve, whether it's in direct impact or indirect by being a part of helping someone else or helping an organization. But there's something we're all born to do. There's a problem we each were born to help solve on this earth, in this generation, in our lifetime, right now. And I'm here to help you pull it out, to help you clarify it, to help you gain the courage and the confidence to go after it. And for those who are already in that journey, to help you become the leader you were born to be, to pull it off and to find everybody else you need to help make it happen. So welcome home, everybody. Who's next? What's landing on you so far before I go much further? Miss Faith, thank you for inviting Bridget.
I'm excited.
Who's next? What's landing on you so far? What are your thoughts and feelings about this whole topic? Miss Gant, take it away.
So I was just gonna say that I really liked, everything you were saying as far, and just I always think about that for myself as well. Like, man, if I would have knew this, I wish I could have, or I wish I would move faster or made these different decisions. But also with the understanding that, maybe my assignment at the time and I wasn't ready at the time, or maybe whatever, so today is the time. And so, but what's exciting about it, like you said, like people are watching, right? And a lot of times we don't pay attention to that, but all the things that I'm learning out, I'm coming across people that are watching, right? So I have a cousin that he's doing really well and everything, and he has a barbershop, a cosmetology school, and a barber school. And I was talking to him the other day, and it was like that personal development just kicked in, and I was like, telling him and encouraging him and stuff. But I noticed every time I see him, I'm gifted to just always, I'm an encourager already, but I'm gifted to encourage him, but through business. And every time I do it, he's always like, you need to be a preacher, but he doesn't know that I'm daily doing personal development. And so last time he said that, I said, I practice personal development. Like, this is something that I do. I said, because I study the word of God too, and then I practice personal development. And so every time I see him, I'm gifted to tell him that, and it always encourages him. And I'm thinking like, is there something there? Is that because I'm just a regular encourager in general, but is there something there where I'm supposed to encourage people in business that I don't know. I'm just stern with it because it seems like I just kind of, I mean, I don't know what it is quite yet, but I'm just stern with it because it seems to just come naturally and people receive it. They receive it and it blesses them. And I like the fact that, they're being blessed, because if I can help people, I want to.
And you keep hearing it from people over and over and over and over and over again, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a clue.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you opened up and shared that, because sometimes in the process of discovering our gift, for us, it can be in our blind spot because it's just natural to us. But to other people, they're blown away. And we may, if we're not careful, we'll diminish the gifts that we've been given, whether they're natural gifts or spiritual gifts or a combination of the two. If we're not careful, we'll diminish the gift and ignore what people are telling us. So my advice is to pay attention and to explore and pray about it. Ask your creator to guide you in who am I born to be? What was I born to do? Ms. Gant, have you ever taken a spiritual gift assessment?
No, but I'm supposed to. So I'm glad you brought that up. I don't, somebody talked to me about it and I was supposed to, and I wrote it down and I can't find a piece of paper.
So the book Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren.
Okay.
Just go to Google and look up spiritual gift assessment. Rick Warren or Purpose Driven Life. And encouragement is actually one of the spiritual gifts.
Well, the thing about it is like, people have told me that, but I know it too. Like, I know, I do it even on my part-time job. I do it to my nieces and my nephews. I just encourage people all the time. And
you can't help
even
it.
And so even on my job, I mean, that's just part of it, and they're like, wow, thank you so much, and it's just part of what I know it's something in that, I know it. So yes, but I'm gonna take that test. Thank you.
And the thing I love about what you're saying is you're not just sitting back wondering about it, you're using your gift. You're doing it. And as you keep encouraging, keep using your gift, keep exercising it, you will be led to who you were born to serve. And there's certain people you have a passion for. I notice you often talk about young people, young men. And now I'm hearing you talk about business people, encouraging people in business. So as you experiment with it, I was coaching a young lady, a teenager earlier, and I shared with her a lot of what you're trying to figure out, you're only going to learn through experience, through trial and error. And so just go, take action, take baby steps in the direction you feel led to go, and then you'll pivot as you go. You may go try something and serve in a certain way and go, I'm not really feeling that. And then you go to another place and you're like, ooh, I really love this part, but not this part. And then you go another direction. The next thing you know, you start finding your sweet spot to where not only are you gifted, not only do you have a passion for it, not only do you have a natural ability for it, your personality is a fit for it. You find that place that's your sweet spot, that's your zone, that's your domain that you were born to rule. And that takes us back to step one in the 7 steps, becoming the queen or king of your domain. This is that process. And every step you take, the clearer you get in that journey. So thank you for sharing. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Who's next? What are your thoughts and feelings? What's landing on you right now on this topic of not being afraid to go after your dream? And if is it worth it? And anything else that's landing on you right now before I go further? Anybody comment, question, experience? Okay.
I'm not commenting because I can't really answer those questions. I haven't been able to find the answer for me,
Okay.
even though I know that people tell me things that they think, and I've done tons of surveys year after year to ask other people, what do they think of when I come to mind. But I can't answer the question, so that's why I haven't
I
raised my
appreciate
hand to
you opening
participate.
up. Let's have a little conversation. What's your answer to that dream question when I say imagine you got complete time and financial freedom, all your bills are paid, your family's taken care of, and if you could only solve one problem and serve one group of people, what would that one problem be, and who's that group of people that you're serving? What comes up for you the most?
It's so hard for me to say. I like to encourage underdogs. I know that I've always been a fighter for the underdog. And this is the first time that's ever come to my mind when I tried to do this. It's never come to my mind before because I feel that I've been forced by life to do so many things and to become good at a lot of things, and none of that stirs me. So
Tell me,
so when people tell me what they think I'm good at, I don't agree. I mean, I might be good from their perspective, but I just haven't found the thing.
I can
And
relate to
I'm
that.
in my 60s, so
That's okay. That's okay. You're still here for a reason. That means you're not done yet. And so, but I want you to
I've had to do so many things, so it's hard for me to figure out what I like to do except travel. I know I love to travel, and I know I have a real heart for the underdog.
I
You
want to hear
know,
more about that. I don't want to hear about what people have told you and that stuff.
right.
Tell me more about this underdog thing.
I mean, ever since I was a little girl, I really had to fight for my own right to humanity. Ever since I was about 3 years old, I can remember. And it's really crazy because it almost feels like therapy. I never thought about this before. But every time I would see someone in a position of helplessness or hopelessness, it would bother me. And I'm reminiscing in my mind now that that had to be, and this is retrospectively because this is all new territory, but that had to be because of the numerous times that I've had to overcome being the underdog. So, um, even in college, when the professor didn't feel like I went to predominantly white college, and when he didn't think that we deserved to be there, and I made it through. Only less than 3% Black people made it through that school, and even to this day, it's less. So I've been able to fight a lot, but I feel like I spent my whole life fighting. And so when I see other people that are being taken advantage of or oppressed or even underestimated, it really gets under my skin.
And what is it that you want to do about it?
whatever I have been able to do when faced with those situations, I did it. I always help to defend their worth, their value, and their right to humanity. And it's not like just a racial thing. I don't mean just racially only, although there has been a component. But even when I was in high school and I pledged a high school sorority, and they would belittle other people who had less, I remember telling them that I was totally against their attitude, because just because a person had less finances did not mean that they were less qualified to be a part of the organization. And so things like that, I've just always, one of the reasons I believe that I worked so hard to become articulate was because my mother was put down so much and she wasn't able to stand up for herself. So I remember like 4 and 5 years old thinking that I was going to defend my mother, against people. She evolved later in life to be a really strong person, but I actually started fighting for her before she could fight for herself. So
Mm.
I don't know where this
And
came from. My mind's just
that's all right. This is what I was born to do, sister. This is you're in the right place. So let me ask you this. When you say defend, you mean verbally, don't you?
right. So like I have this really good gift of using language to fight. Yeah. And only, and this is, through I know you've spoken about being in rooms and getting training, but it was only after the pandemic going through, I spent a ridiculous amount of money that I didn't have to go through trainings. And it's only been since then that I would even speak up, because I grew up feeling like people don't really care what you have to say or how you feel. So I had become silent. And even I realized that literally it was like something holding my tongue. So I wouldn't share unless it's fighting for the underdog. Other times I wouldn't share. I would always hold my peace. And even if you're or articulator, I never could operate in that arena in the least bit until recently.
I think you've made it very clear what you were born to do and who you were born to be. You know what I hear very clearly? And I feel it in every fiber of my being. You were born to be a voice for the underdog.
Yeah. And that made me feel happy when you said it.
You feel it,
Because I
don't
used
you?
to always tell people I never feel passion about anything, birthdays, new cars, new husbands, having a baby. I never felt passionate about anything. But just when you said that, it felt like fire went through my whole body. And that's something that was a totally new experience. I'm telling you, this is really freaking me out. Because
Congratulations. You are now on the path of clarity. You know who you were born to be and what you were born to do. And as you continue to take action in that direction, you'll only get more and more clear, more and more aligned. Things from your past are going to make so much more sense to you. Your whole life is going to start making more sense to you. So everybody show some love for Miss Faith Abraham. You got a powerful name too. Um, I can't wait to see what God does with that gift. Are there some books that are supposed to be written?
I have 8 books in my computer and they've been in there for over a decade.
Yes, I know. Time to release them.
I published one, a book of poetry that talked about various life issues, but the rest are just from my childhood. Felt that nobody really cared about what I had to say. And
Mm, yeah.
and so they sit.
And that's what the enemy does. Here's another way to figure out your gift. Wherever you're attacked the most as a child and growing up, is usually connected to your gift. The kingdom of darkness is threatened by your gift. Has no power over your gift, but that's the threat. I was born to help people discover what they were born to do. So my biggest attack was on my own identity and self-worth as a child. And that's why by the age of 6, I didn't even want to be alive anymore, because I felt like I didn't have a purpose. Of course, that would be the number one attack, because it's the number one thing I was born to do. And so I would only imagine that if you were born to speak up your whole life, there's been an agenda to keep you silenced.
Yep.
And you will be silent no more. And guess what? You're going to destroy darkness in this world in your lifetime, because you speak up and use the gift that you've been given, and all of us are going to benefit from it. So thank you for speaking up tonight. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations. I can't wait. I have a business coaching program. One of them, there's 3 groups of people that I coach in business. And one of them is entrepreneurs. The other one is influencers. And the third one is network marketers, those in network marketing business. You are what I call an influencer. An influencer is what I would also call a teacherpreneur. You have a message to teach. You have a message to share. You have something to speak that will impact people's lives. And so it's now time for you to learn how to package your gift and deliver your gift. Keep practicing it. A book I highly recommend you get a hold of is called Millionaire Messenger. Millionaire Messenger by Brendan Burchard. And get that book. It's on audio as well. And don't hesitate to reach out to me. I see you are very moved right now, but congratulations on your breakthrough tonight. Everybody show her some love. Mm, 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 mm. Anybody else? What are you, what's landing on you tonight so far? Comment, question, observation.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Scott.
Man, I tell you, coach, this thing is fire tonight. It's real, I don't know, like, came and find my word, and you know I talk a lot. But I listen, I would tell on me before anybody else. But I'm just so humble and so like quiet. Like, I'm listening to the young lady that went before me, and you know, like I've always been a person to speak the truth. And my mom didn't like that. And I always used to get slapped on the floor, for I used to always tell my mom, this is not a family, you know. I always felt some kind of way. It's just a lot. It's so much. So I'll just say like this, like, I was molested from 3 to 14, left home at 17. And I went through so much. I tried to burn the house down. But one thing I didn't realize is that even if the house would have got burned down, everybody in the house was still coming to the next house. So the hell that I was going through was still going to be there waiting for me in the next one. And so I had to live my life and come to a decision. I knew I had to leave. I was dying a slow death in there. Just so many things. Which is why I am the way that I am right now. I put myself through a program for 2 years straight. I'm now licensed, and I could teach other women who've ever been offended how to reclaim their life. It's called reclaimglobal.org. Check into it. Get the help that you need. A lot of people go through life silent. They don't say anything. They don't talk about it. They feel dirty. They feel like it was their fault. The devil is a liar. And he used so many things to silence you, to corner you, to try to box you in. And you always feel unloved, unwanted. Nobody cares. Nobody care about you. Nobody care about what you got to say. Just so many things that we have to overcome in this life, and I just been through so much. And yeah, I was supposed to write a book, and God was on me for that for years. And I wouldn't write the book, and I told God, I said, no disrespect, but I didn't want to dishonor my mother because I knew that it would be such a uproar. Oh, she would be so angry. Or my siblings would, come at me. And listen, I'm not that one. Listen, I'm sweet, I'm kind, but you come for me, I don't start you, but I will end you. And I don't play games. So I just, I didn't do anything. But I tell you what, God was still working on me because I have so many journals. If it's called journaling, when you are, in the church, child of God, you go to church, you take notes at church, but then your quiet time with God, you journal. And so I have so many journals, right? And I tell you that I was mad at God, right? Because the more you build your relationship with God, you say, God, how could you? How did you allow that to happen to me? How did you allow my innocence to be taken from me? Who would I be today had all of that not happened? And even though you go through the program, and I've been through the process and I honor the process, a lot of that, it still hurts. Just because you go through the process doesn't mean that it does not hurt. And, like I said, I think about where would I be? Who would I be had those things never happened to me? And so I'm Lord bless God was dealing with me and giving me breadcrumbs. Like I speak on the vision he's giving me right now. Well, he did the same thing with the book. So God started dealing with me, and I know that my journals are or is the book, if that makes sense. My journaling will become chapters, volumes, biography, oh God, and to the point where I had started thinking about um the title of the book or the different chapters, what they're gonna be. Like that's as far as I got. And crazy enough, like my mom did pass away on Mother's Day this past year. And I'm thinking about the book, and I said, well, God, I always told you, why I wasn't doing it then. Now that she's gone now, it's back on my heart.
Mm.
And I'm just like, okay. And it's not that I'm necessarily scared to bring it all together, but I tell you, it all fell apart when my mother died. And I didn't even go home for uh my mother. My mother always knew I didn't do funerals. And I wanted to just see her at peace the way I remembered her. I never wanted to go home and deal with what I had to deal with. But my siblings just came so strong for me, and all the hate and all the ugly and all the everything, and it just got really bad. Like she said, oh, you didn't love mommy because you left. The devil is a liar. Your parents raised you to leave the nest. Who are you that you still had a room upstairs? And my brother was on the third floor. You know what I'm saying? Mom knew she didn't have to worry about me because I left at 17 and I never came back. But
Yeah.
I'll digress. It's just so much. It's just so if I go back to the point, is that to have a voice is powerful. And if the enemy can silence you, he got you. But I've always been ridiculed because I refuse. I refuse to pretend anymore, and I refuse to be silenced anymore. And that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Powerful. Everybody show some love to Miss Scott. And I thank you for your vulnerability as well. One of the most powerful women I've ever been blessed to spend time around is the great Lisa Nichols. If y'all don't know that name, look up that name, Lisa Nichols. Actually, she wrote the endorsement of my book. And she has a book called Abundance Now.
Didn't she also write The Secret?
She didn't write The Secret, but she was featured in The Secret. Yes, that's the Lisa Nichols.
She's
And
amazing.
she has a book called Abundance Now. Very powerful program. It's on audio as well. And one of the things she talks about, and for those that have a message to share, but one of the things that's holding you back is certain people that you may not want to hear the message, or you're concerned at how they might take the message and that sort of thing. But she has one of the best teachings I've ever heard on how to tell the truth while leaving people's dignity intact. How to tell your story and still leave other people's dignity intact. So I highly recommend that for those who have a message to share, a story to share, but you're concerned about how it might impact some of the people in your life. Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. Wow, wow, wow. Anybody else? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? What's impacting you from tonight? Comment, question? Okay. So we're talking about what is your dream? And I'll just tell you all, every time we get together, no matter what the topic is going to be, it all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. If you miss it in one session, you'll pick it up in the next one. Because we're talking about your dream, but it's in clarifying your vision in step 5, but it's also taking us back to clarity around step number 1, becoming the queen or king of your domain, your area of gifting. That is your domain. Own it. Own it. That's the domain. Once it clicks, that is the domain you were born to rule. That's what the title is about. It's not an egocentric, prideful title, born to rule. You know, I'm a born CEO. Ha ha ha. Look at me. No, that's not what this is about. You were born to rule your domain. And when you put your crown back on and discover who you are and what you were born to do, who you were born to be, your gift will make room for you. Your gift will put you before kings. So your responsibility now is to not only discover your gift and clarify your gift, but discover the vision for your gift. Who is your gift supposed to impact? Who is it supposed to serve? And master your gift, perfect your gift, and build a business around your gift. Whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a for-profit, build a business around your gift so your gift can be served on a larger scale and your gift can continue to impact the world even when you're no longer here. That's leadership. Becoming who you were born to be. And the way that leadership impacts other people is when people see you become who you were born to be, they get inspired to become who they were born to be. And that's when people follow. That's the essence of true leadership. It's not even about other people first. So, is it worth it? Answer that for me in the chat. Is it worth discovering your gift, discovering your dream, and putting together a plan to bring it into reality? Put a 1 in the chat if it's worth it. No matter what you have to learn, no matter who you have to meet, who you have to become, what skills you have to develop, it's worth it. And you can enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. I want you to think of the process of putting your plan together with the level of joy that people who love to play with jigsaw puzzles and put puzzles together do. Some people love to crochet or knit, right? They enjoy the process. Some people like braiding hair. They enjoy the process. Some people like building with Lego blocks. They enjoy the process. Some people like doing projects around the house and building furniture, putting things together. They enjoy the process. Some people like building homes or doing construction, enjoying the process. It's the same thing, building your vision. I want you to enjoy the process of building your dream, of putting the pieces of your vision together with that same level of enjoyment. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, and don't let overwhelm kick in. We don't do overwhelm. Put that in the chat for me. We don't do overwhelm, right? The minute something starts to seem overwhelming, we're looking at an elephant. We break that elephant down. If you take a sheet of paper and draw an elephant on that sheet of paper, and it might be a big old elephant. Well, what happens when you start tearing that piece of paper up into smaller pieces? Tear it into 10 different pieces, or tear it into 100 different pieces, or 50 different pieces, and then you take one piece at a time. Don't be intimidated by a God-sized vision. It's supposed to be that big. If it comes from God, it's bigger than you. If it's coming from God, you're not going to be able to pull it off by yourself anyway. So don't even think that you're supposed to pull it off by yourself. It's your gift and the gift of others. But as I shared earlier, sometimes the very resources that you need to pull off your gift are waiting for you to take action on the pieces you already have. There's somebody that has plenty of money that God has blessed them with, and they're waiting for the right vision to invest in. And you have the vision, and you're waiting for the resources before you start, but the resources are waiting for you. So never wait on resources. Start taking action, prayerful action in the direction of your dream, in the direction of your gift, and all of a sudden, the pieces will start to come together. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper into clarifying your vision. So one of the best quotes I ever heard was from my dear friend and late mentor, the late John Gardner, when he broke down what is a plan. As you clarify your vision and you break it down into a plan, that dream that you have, that calling that you have, as you get clear on it, remember, a plan is simply a written to-do list of everything needed to achieve your goal, prioritized, scheduled, and then checked off. So 4 things there: a written list, a written to-do list, prioritize in order of importance. Okay, first this needs to happen. Now that I got this big old list, okay, let's organize it. What needs to happen first? What needs to happen second? What needs to happen third? So that's prioritized. Scheduled. All right, when am I going to get this one checked off the list? I'm going to work on this one tonight. I'm going to work on that one tomorrow. I'm going to take a baby step toward that third one the next day. So scheduled, like in your calendar. As born CEOs, we know that life is spelled TIME. And whatever we trade our time for is what we've traded our lives for. So we work from a calendar. I highly recommend Google Calendar in your phone, where you can set things in advance. You can color code things, your time. You can set automated reminders. If it's weekly, you can have it set to repeat weekly. If you ever lose your phone, you still have access to it in the cloud. You can add people to it. It's an amazing way for a life management system to help with your goals. But prioritize, scheduled, and then checked off. Number 1, checked off. Number 2, checked off. Number 3, checked off. And as you put together a team, all of a sudden, you're not the only one that is scheduling and checking off items on the list, because there's other people called to that same vision that you have. And sometimes, again, they're waiting for you to start sharing your gift, sharing your vision, sharing your dream, and they go, oh my gosh, we need to connect. Oh my gosh, I'm not a part of that, but you need to talk to my cousin. You know, so be bold about it. Henry Ford, he said, thinking is the hardest work there is. That's why so few people engage in it. Somebody say, ouch. Ouch. That's a healthy ouch right there. And my observation is that most people work hard and think they're smart. But it's time for us to start thinking hard and working smart. So where am I going with this? Here's a book I highly recommend everybody get. Most people are familiar with the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is the first book in the Rich Dad series. I firmly believe that this is a divinely inspired book series. And it's not just about making money. It is about bringing your dreams and ideas into fruition. It is about it's about freedom and purpose. And so no matter what you think of the author, sometimes he rubs me the wrong way, especially in person, but his work with this Rich Dad series is divinely inspired. And in the first book, he lays the foundation about financial education. But the second book, to me, is the most important. And it incorporates Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it's called Guide to Financial Freedom, Rich Dad's Guide to Financial Freedom. We spoke about that in episode 3. And if you go to BornCEO.com and watch the welcome video, I break down how to apply that. I call it the ABCs of financial freedom. But this is the third book in the series called Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. And this is a masterpiece that most people don't even know exists, but the title is so much of an understatement of what this book is really about. What this book is really about is how do you build an infrastructure around your gift, around your product or service? How do you build structure around it? How do you build a business around it, a nonprofit around it, an organization around it? How do you build a team around it? And he introduces one of the diagrams that Rich Dad introduced him to. By the way, I do not own this trademark. This intellectual property is owned by Rich Dad and Cash Flow Technologies. Get the book, buy the book, take advantage of the book, audio book. Go ahead, Ms. Gant.
Okay, so I'm currently reading Cash Flow Quadrant. So would you recommend reading this book first and then that one?
No. This one comes after Cash Flow Quadrant. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad was book number 1.
Okay.
Cash Flow Quadrant is book number 2.
Okay, and then
this is book number 3.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. This book will pick up where Cash Flow Quadrant left off. So Cash Flow Quadrant was a heavy emphasis on how do you become free? How do you become a true business owner? And why it's important to build a solid foundation as an entrepreneur, especially with the economic times that we're facing. Those who don't learn those fundamentals, many people are going to be left behind and be hurt because they have not gotten developed and equipped. And but it lays that foundation for financial freedom. And this book, book number 3, he's now emphasizing the true power of the I quadrant, the investor quadrant. But he reminds us that everything you invest in is a business. So if you want to be a true investor, then the best investors, the ultimate investor, is a business owner who invests in other businesses. A true business owner understands what makes a business work, what makes a business struggle, and how to fix it. And so this BI triangle, he breaks down that the foundation of any business, organization, nonprofit, for-profit, doesn't matter, The foundation is the strength of the mission itself. So when I keep asking you all, what is the one problem you would solve and the group of people you would serve, this is where that passion comes from and the mission of your business. Whether it's a ministry, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a for-profit business, the foundation has to be a strong mission, a strong crusade. Rich Dad called it the spiritual mission. He said a strong mission has two parts, the spiritual mission and the financial mission. We know the obvious financial mission, the business, or even if it's a for-profit, nonprofit, or ministry or charity, it still has to be funded. So it needs to have a strong financial mission to be able to fund the mission. So never think nonprofit means be broke, right? You want to be well-funded. But the spiritual mission is what drives the spirit of the organization. It's the spirit of the founder. Some call it founder's DNA, that spirit that founded the organization in the first place, that strong mission, that strong drive. Dr. Martin Luther King just came to my mind as I was saying that level of passion, that level of conviction, right? So that no matter what obstacles you face, the founder is able to overcome all of those obstacles because the mission continues to drive them. And money cannot do that. So if your mission is really just to make money or to whatever it is that's superficial, it won't be enough for the business to last and withstand the test of time. So that's the mission. There also needs to be a team in place that oversees each component of the BI triangle. So one of those components is cash flow management. Somebody has to be overseeing the cash flow management to make sure that there's plenty of cash coming in and that it's managed properly. That's a part of the foundation inside of the BI triangle. When that is mismanaged, then a company starts to suffer. When it's managed well, the company has a chance to thrive. The second component is communications management. This includes sales, getting the word out. Even if you're a nonprofit or a charity, sales need to happen. Marketing is also included here, meaning if you don't have strong sales or marketing or both, then you may have the best solution on the planet, but nobody knows. Not enough people know. The people that you were born to serve have no idea what you do. So you've got to have strong communications. So part of these communications are external communications. That's communicating to the people you're trying to reach, getting the right message to the right people at the right time, right? And that's external communication. And then there's internal communication inside of your organization, you know, communicating with the team members and departments working together. So communication, someone has to oversee communications on the team to make sure that communications management is strong. The third component inside of the BI triangle is systems management. Systems management. This is where you've got policies and procedures, you've got technology, all the different systems that make the enterprise run well. Somebody needs to be in charge of overseeing the systems on the team. Then there's legal management. Are there business licenses that are needed? Is there intellectual property that needs to be protected? Lawsuit protection, anything related to the legalities of the business and the business being protected. That's the legal management. Who's overseeing that department of the enterprise? And then finally, at the very end, the last piece is the product itself. But as for this topic tonight, I want you to think of your gift as the product. Your gift is the product. Put that in the chat for me. My gift is the product. My gift is the product. So you're going to learn how to package your gift, produce your gift, reproduce your gift, and build a system around you, a delivery system around your gift. This whole BI triangle is a delivery system to deliver your gift to the world. And then, of course, there needs to be leadership in place that oversees the team to fulfill the mission. And that's the BI triangle. So I highly recommend you get the book, get the audio book. Very valuable as you start to put your plan together on how you're going to serve the gift to this world. Why do I do this? I believe that whenever I do this, I'm talking to world changers. I believe that I'm speaking to the next Mahatma Gandhi, the next Dr. Martin Luther King, the next Mother Teresa. I believe I'm talking to the next world changer. When I speak to young people, I don't know who is in the audience, who's going to see this video, but I want to bring all the resources for you to unleash everything that God put inside of you. That's my job. That's my role. That's my lane. That's my purpose. That's my gift. That's my domain. And so I read hundreds of books. I listen to hundreds of audios. I invest thousands of dollars going to seminars, going around, getting around the best of the best. That's why I can have a conversation with somebody, and very quickly, when I understand their gift and I understand their struggle, I know exactly what to prescribe. So you're in the right place, family. Stick close, keep moving, and as you put your dream together, there's resources to help you. And then I try to take it all and make it so simple that a 14-year-old can understand it. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. What you see on the screen is what I call the 10 components of a product pipeline. In chapter 5 of my book, Born to Rule, I break down that all business is simply a pipeline that delivers products or services to a specific group of people in exchange for profit. That's all it is. It's a pipeline. Go back to what I said about people that love braiding hair, enjoy that process, or putting Lego blocks together, or building something. These are the building blocks to building a business. This is my framework that helps me break down that elephant-sized vision into small 10 components to work on. The first P stands for the product or service creation. When you get to chapter 5 in the book, it goes over a couple key questions to ask yourself and to answer when it comes to it. But before I jump into this, I want to read something. It says, start writing down why your dream is important in this world. I want you to start with that. Why is your dream important in this world? What problems can your dream solve, both directly and indirectly? Your dream, your gift, your purpose. Who are all of the people behind the causes, organizations, agencies that will benefit from the success of your dream? Make a list of all the people you can think of, the causes you can think of, the organizations you can think of that will benefit from your dream and your gift. Write them down. This will lay the foundation because a lot of the resources that you're going to need are going to come through that list. A lot of the connections, a lot of the solutions to some of the concerns that you'll have are going to come through this list. Your answers to the question of why your gift is so important in this world and getting clear on who it impacts will help you understand how important you are in this world. And until you understand how important you are, how significant you are because of what you're carrying, the world will be at a disservice. So that's what I mean by put your crown back on. Become the queen or king of your domain. When you understand how important you are, all of that disempowering crap, all that stinking thinking, all those lies, even false humility. False humility, oh, I'm not all that, I'm not, that's not healthy. Playing down who God created you to be is not humility. Humility is when I say to myself, I cannot take credit for my gift because I didn't give myself my gift. I can only take responsibility for discovering it, honing it, improving it, and serving it, but I can't take credit for having it because I didn't give it to myself. There's nothing for me to brag about. There's nothing for me to take credit for. There's nothing for me to be prideful about. I'm here to serve. I'm under authority. I've been assigned to this. That's humility. Humility is not playing down the truth, and neither is pride healthy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, God never made anybody less than a 10. 10, everybody's a 10. So we can't think higher of ourselves than someone else. If you think you're higher than a 10, come back down, because only God is above a 10. And if you start thinking of yourself as lower than a 10, come back up, because God didn't make anybody less than a 10. Put a 10 in the chat if you hear what I'm saying. So it goes on to talk about your written plan. And this is what I want to leave everybody with tonight. Number 1 is product and service creation. What products or services might you offer? As you think of your gift, as you think of the problem that you were born to solve, the people you were born to serve, what products or services come to mind? For example, for me, this Monday night event is a service that I provide in my gift, right? It was a simple baby step that I could take. What's a baby step that I could take? You know, based on where I am now. There were other smaller baby steps before this, leading up to this, because I was a person that was too shy to talk. I barely spoke at home. My sister's on the line, I think still right now, my older sister. I was so shy, I barely spoke at my house with my family. You on the line, sis? I don't know if she's still with us.
Yes, I'm driving, but I put 100 in the chat. Bart is the least person that we would have. I, as his older sister, used to have to speak for him and say, this is what he wanted to say when he was a kid, kind of as an advocate. And now this is where he is. So, yeah, absolutely true.
And thank you. You talk about being a voice. My sister was my voice, Miss Faith, Miss Scott. My sister was my voice for me when I was the underdog. She was the person that came to get me when I overheard my teachers making fun of my name as a little boy, and I lost it. I was hiding under the table, and they couldn't get me to come from out under the table until my sister came to get me from next door. And I remember thinking, man, if the teachers are saying the same stuff that all the kids are saying, then everything the kids are saying about me must be true as well. I started believing the lies. So some of my baby steps were overcoming all the lies. So when y'all hear me sharing a lot of this stuff, it's because I've had to confront these things and overcome these things myself. And I didn't understand it my whole life until I started looking at my life in context of what God created me to do. Of course, he would allow me to experience that because I was born to help other people overcome that. So one baby step in terms of product or service for me right now is, okay, what can I do right now? What can I do? Sometimes we get so caught up in what we can't do or what we don't have time to do, or that we don't do anything. Well, what can I do? I could show up on Monday night and start teaching and just serving and sharing my gift. It's a baby step. And here's what I've learned. I don't have to have it all figured out. That's one other thing I want you to release. If you feel like you've got to have it all figured out, and before you get started, let that go. You don't have to have it all figured out. I didn't know who was going to show up. I would have done this all by myself. And then, and so as spread the word, it's just taking baby steps. So what products or services can you provide, whether it's a program or whatever? I'm not worried about how the nonprofit is going to get funded right now. I already know, one, my businesses are going to fund it. Two, there's people that are going to be impacted that want to contribute to it. Three, God's got all kinds of ways to perform what he wants done. Somebody said the other day, his will, his bill. It's his will for this to be done, so he's going to make sure it's funded. My job is just to stay in alignment, stay connected, and ask for guidance and wisdom and take action so that I'm in position with whatever way he wants to go with it. So I don't know who that was for, but don't think you have to have it all figured out before you get started. Take some baby steps. Sometimes you won't learn the next step until you take the first step. Number 2, prospecting/lead generation. The question I would ask you there is, what do the people who would buy it, your product or service, or fund your dream, fund your work, what do they have in common? And why would they buy or fund it? And I want you to write it down and answer those questions. The clearer you get on these questions, these answers, the more confidence you'll have in the plan, the more clear you'll be on your plan. And where are they already looking that you may want to place your advertisement? These people, there's a specific group of people that would gladly buy your solution. Your gift is a solution to somebody's problem. Your product or service is a solution to somebody's problem. What type of people are these? Hone in to who this group of people is. Now, I struggle. I'm a creative. I struggle with focus. Some of you are like, what? Yes, I struggle with focus. That's what's taken me so long to do so many things, because I'm doing so many things. I'm all over the place sometimes. And so it takes, I have to be very intentional about getting laser focused. The first time I got laser focused on one group of people that's had a problem that I solved, I had my first $70,000 month. They just started throwing money at me, because instead of being all over the place talking to everybody about all the problems I solve and all the people I can serve, and nobody knows that I can help them, because if you try to serve everybody, you end up serving almost nobody. But when you focus, at least on one group at a time, and you can communicate what problem you solve to the very people who have that problem, and then they realize, wow, you have the solution to my problem that I'm willing to pay for, money is no longer an issue for you. So don't worry about money. Focus on solving the problem and who the people are that have the problem that you were born to solve, and who are the people that are willing to pay for that problem. And where are they? Sometimes you got a great solution to a problem, but you're fishing in the wrong pond. You're getting your message out, but the people that really need to hear it are over there. So part of this topic, and number 2, is honing in on who those people are. Where are these people? And that's where you want to focus your effort. This is where you apply the 80-20 principle, where 20% of the people will give you 80% of the results. So you want to focus 80% of your efforts on the 20% that'll give you the best results. Focus. Identify the people you were born to serve. And then the question is, are there enough of them to serve and sustain your vision? All right, number 3, inviting/advertising. What questions could you ask in your marketing about their desire, their need, and/or their problem that would grab their attention and make them realize that they need and want to learn about what you offer? What outcome or result do they desire that they would pay good money for? What pain do they want to get rid of so badly that they would pay good money for it? Some of the questions. These questions come out of the book, by the way. So go to chapter 5 and you'll see them in your book. Number 4, presenting your offer effectively. This is one of those pieces to the puzzle as you put your product pipeline together. What are all of the reasons they would buy? What are all of the concerns they would have about buying? How could you respond in a way that removes their concerns and make them almost beg you for your solution? What stories and examples can you share? Powerful questions to answer. See, I think a lot of people underestimate the magnitude of the book and even these teachings, because I break it down into such ABC 1, 2, 3. Do not underestimate the potency of this information, because it's being laid out in such an elementary way. This is stuff that billionaires use. Number 5, enrolling closing effectively. What closing questions could you ask your potential buyer during and after your presentation to lead them to a final decision to buy and finally get their problem solved? What can you do to follow up with those who are interested but aren't ready to buy? Number 6, leveraging, systemizing, staffing. What procedures, step-by-step procedures, systems, and people could you put in place to handle business growth so the business can run smoothly without you being involved? Powerful question. Even taking this list of 10 things, one way is to go about putting these 10 things in place yourself. But if you understand leverage, you'd be thinking, okay, who can I put together on my mastermind team? Especially if you read, that's why you want to read Think and Grow Rich, or The Science of Personal Achievement, which is my favorite, came out after Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and learning about putting a mastermind team together. That's putting a team together, a team of people together who are also passionate about this mission. And now, instead of you putting all 10 of these things in place by yourself, you all are breaking it down together. Remember what John Gardner taught us? A plan is simply a written to-do list of everything needed to achieve the goal, prioritized, scheduled, and checked off. So you can put a team together to help implement this product pipeline. Number 7, insurance/legal protection. What kind of licenses, insurance coverage, or legal services would you need to put in place to protect your idea, your business, your gift, your enterprise, your nonprofit, your ministry, whatever it is? Number 8, net profits/cash flow management. What accountant and or bookkeeper can you talk to about planning and managing your income and expenses? Number 9, evolving/managing changes. What events could take place in your industry, in the economy, etc., that would cause you to change how you do business? How could you respond successfully? So what this is saying is, don't go into your vision hoping that everything stays the same, everything is perfect, there's going to be no problems. No, we don't run from problems. We grow from them. We grow through them, right? And so we think ahead also. Don't just wait for different challenges to come up. Just know and anticipate what challenges could come up. Have somebody on your team who's good at anticipating what challenges could come up, and start thinking in advance, what can we do successfully to pivot, to adjust if this happens, so you're not in shock, your team's not in shock, nobody's worried and running around, because you already knew there were going to be challenges, and you're here for it, and you're built for it. And when you're in alignment with your true assignment, God's got your back anyway. So go forth knowing that you're divinely protected, and everything that happens is going to happen for your good. Number 10, scaling/expanding. What can you do to multiply your profits and expand what's already working? And so some of that is kind of for-profit language. Translate that to whatever you're doing, whatever you're building. But these are some of the pieces you can put together and some of the questions you can start answering as you're clarifying your vision and your plan. And that is what chapter 5, Clarify Your Vision, is all about. Before we wrap up, let's unmute the lines, or what landed on you the most? And what are you going to implement this week? Those are the questions, 2 questions. What landed on you the most tonight, and what are you going to implement this week? Jump right in.
I'll go first. This is Selena, Miss Scott. I'll keep it short and sweet because I'm still in a quiet moment with myself. Just my voice. And it's crazy because people act like they don't want to hear me talk. And I don't know. But nevertheless, I don't know if that just drives me to more. And um and then just continuing to work on personal development and building the platform that God would have for me to step into at this time in my life, and honoring that, and honoring the process that comes with it, that is coming with it. Being, slow to speak, and just to hear his small still voice, or to be obedient, to just move, in this season. And I am humbled by so much that he's doing in my life, knowing that even my best is filthy rags, but I am encouraged by the word. Thank God that I know the word in so many of the stories in the Bible, because everybody in the Bible was jacked up and God still saw fit to use them. And so I find comfort, in that, because you can read the word. I don't care who you choose. They had something wrong with them. And so, we don't have to be perfect. There's no perfect person. And God is not waiting for you to be perfect. We think that we have to be perfect. No, even your best is filthy rags, and even in all that you do, God will still use you. You just have to be willing. So I'm just asking God to continue to help me in this season where he's navigating and helping me navigate the waters, uh that I stay on the right path, because we so easily distracted
Mhm.
and fall off. So I digress. I'm humble. Thank you so much
Powerful.
for
Thank you
this
for sharing.
opportunity. What you offering us.
You're welcome. Thank God. Put up
Amen.
some hearts in the chat, everybody. Who's next? Your biggest takeaway tonight, and what are you going to implement this week? We're all about implementation. Take it away, Miss Bridget.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Faith for the invitation. I really appreciate it. This has been amazing. My battery on my laptop is about to die, so I'll also keep it short. My biggest takeaway in the second portion was that my gift is the solution to somebody else's problem.
Mm.
And that just really, really hits home. And so what I will implement this week is to exercise my gift to find a solution for somebody else.
Woo! Show some love, everybody, in the chat. Who's next? Miss Faith, were you about to share?
Yes, sort of the same vein as Bridget. I am really gonna journal and spend some time looking into how my gift can impact the world, because I think that is the key for me to release my voice, is having clarity and understanding of the significance of my voice
Mm, mm, mm.
in the earth. And so I'm going to spend a lot of time looking through the word and some of these sources, and just really trying to tap deeply into that. The scripture comes to mind that talks about into the deep. And I think that's where I need to be with this upcoming week, launching out into the depths of what this means, and even the collaboration of my life experience with the destination that God has purposed.
Mm, mm, mm. Everybody put up some hearts for Miss Faith. I want to encourage everybody, go to YouTube and look up Miles Monroe, Myles Monroe, anything he has on purpose, about purpose. Look up Miles Monroe on purpose and let that help. I'm cultivating, but let that help you to nurture and to add some water and some sunshine on your gift as you grow. Oh, you already know, Miss Faith. Yes, changed my life. I started flying out to the Bahamas to spend time with him before he passed, to soak up his wisdom. He was one of the greatest gifts, and is one of the greatest gifts to our generation ever, that God sent. So anything he has on kingdom, leadership, and purpose. Soak that up. Okay, who's next? What were you about to say something, Miss Faith?
Just throwing this in real quick. Another thing that I'm going to do this week is revise my calendar so that I have time for this type of exploration because it's so full of busy things. I need to revamp my calendar to make this top priority.
Woo! Implementing step 3, chapter 3, rule your time. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, so glad you said that. Who else needed to hear that? All right, who's next? Miss Tawonia?
Yes, the whole thing has just been a great impact, and I do appreciate you and multiple purposes. So my implementation this week is to seek God more on what it is, to narrow it down, to get my time channeled together, prioritize my time to spend more time so that I can seek him more. And during my spiritual journey, I'm going to include my purpose for in there so he can talk to me and I can listen to him.
So powerful. Put up some hearts for Miss Tawonia. We can only see the top of your head, by the way. But there you are. There's that smile. Love it. Put some hearts up there for Miss Tawonia, you all. Who's next? Biggest impact tonight, and one thing, what are you going to implement this week?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, my background's not noisy. My biggest impact really is just watching you do your thing. My biggest impact is seeing you actually live on purpose and practicing what you preach and then touching people in a way that inspires them to reach in. I mean, that's what this whole thing is about, but I'm impacted by seeing you do it. It is just beautiful. And my takeaway was the list for clarity, because I've been working on that. As you know, we've been talking about that. And so I'm really grateful for that, as well as the reminder of the third book in Robert Kiyosaki's series, which I have not read yet. I've read the other three, another three, the first two, and then the ABCs. But yeah, so thank you so much. And I just love it.
Awesome. That means the world coming from my big sister. And did you say what you're going to implement this week?
Yes, I'm implementing, digging into that clarity of the list of things in the pipeline
And
for
getting
my
the book.
business.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Congrats. Put up some hearts, everybody, for my big sister. All right. Who's next? What is biggest impact tonight and what you're going to implement this week? If you haven't gone yet, it's your turn.
Okay, I'll go. My biggest impact was, so much, but learning about the Guide of Investing. I didn't even know about that book. And then really just the everything that you were saying, I mean, just causing me to expand my thinking. And so that was like the biggest impact. I have like 3 pages of notes. So, so I'm trying to think of that one thing. It's kind of hard. I like when you said his will, his bill. I like that right there because I don't have to think about that right now. And then I'm going to pray about the thing about encouragement, like what God wants me to do with it in regards to business or even, the housing piece. And then another thing I just wanted to share was, as you were talking and you were talking about your nonprofit and you were saying that you don't necessarily know how you're going to pay for it or how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that. And the first thing that came to my mind is when I get my boys home, I'm going to get you. And so I was thinking about the connection of the tribe. And I was like, yeah, because he can come into the young men and help them. So yes,
I look forward to it.
Yes.
Absolutely. And did you say what you're going to implement this week? Oh, you're going to pray about
We'll
clarity?
pray. Yeah, pray.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And what are you going to implement?
Well, I guess implementation of praying specifically about this.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm gonna implement, like the actual prayer about, because I pray about a lot of stuff, but not specifically on this.
Okay.
So that's gonna be my implementation to
And
figure out what.
is there any practical baby step you can take towards something this week?
Yeah, I'm be looking for my other house so I
Okay.
can be getting out the other house. That's every day. I do that all the time.
Awesome. Put up some hearts, everybody, for Miss Gant. Love it, love it. As you all know, a big part of Born CEO coaching is we're not here just to learn and talk. All of that's important, but the transformation process is not complete until we take action. Action, action, action. So I'm always gonna nudge you all to not only what happened inside of you, but what are you going to implement? What are you gonna do? A baby step, some type of an action, because it's so easy to learn, to listen, to study, to pray, and there's a place for all of that, and it's important. But at the end of the day, we got to take some baby steps. We got to take some action as well. So appreciate you all. Who else? Who hasn't shared yet? Greatest big impact. And what are you going to implement this week? Mr. Bell, Ms. Cavino.
Yeah, I can go.
Yes, sir.
I would say the biggest impact. Oh well, there was a lot of different impacts, honestly. But I'll try to keep it brief. It's so powerful. Like just one constantly is just hearing everyone else's story and seeing like the micro breakthroughs and the big breakthroughs and like the micro breakthroughs that are leading like this like a domino effect to these bigger breakthroughs that are happening maybe not just in this moment but over days and over time. It's beautiful to see, like as my mom said, like just like I of course, I mean, I'm being your nephew, I didn't watch you grow up, but seeing like hearing much about you from my mom, hearing and seeing like who you are today, it's like it's mind-boggling to even imagine that you were the introverted individual that like we like my parents and your brothers know you to be. What am I planning to do this week? An immediate goal. Well, I think one of the biggest things for me, at least, is to put. I think I've been pushing off like a lot of like my own entrepreneurial ideas because like I've been feeling, I don't know, like that I don't have the biggest teams or the resources. And something you said earlier, it's like the resources are waiting for you, but you have to start small. I think sometimes my issue is that I am a big thinker, and I take like sometimes a lot of big risks. But in many instances, like it's all about. I think another thing you said, it's like right drawing the elephant, ripping it up into 50 pieces, and taking each piece at a time. And I think for to translate that into an actual item, like I might plan to this week work on actually detailing out my plan for the next year for my business and figure out what the immediate next step would be. And that's it for me.
Woo! Put up some hearts for Mr. Bell, everybody. The next generation. Love it, love it, love it. Woo! All right, Ms. Gavino. Gavino, you still with? There you are.
Hi. Sorry,
Yes.
I've been quiet. My head is spinning, and I think the impact for me is, gosh, am I living the life I was born to live? I mean, there are just too many questions, but really, what I'm going to implement is to sit in prayer in quiet meditation and kind of soak up everything that you've shared tonight. There's just a lot. It's like, why am I here? Right? So I'm back to that. I just need to stick to that, keep it simple. Yeah, just sitting in quiet prayer and meditation and trying to figure it out. Really,
And
really short and sweet.
sometimes that is the best next step too. Everybody put up some hearts for Miss Gavino. All right, family. Listen, tonight's been amazing. Um, thank you all for showing up to become who you were born to be. There is a gift that you were born to serve. There's a problem you were born to solve. There's a group of people that have the problem you were born to solve. And your gift is the solution to the problem that you were born to solve. Let's continue to get clear, pray about your vision, who you are, how important it is what you carry. If you've ever struggled with self-worth, once you start to take hold of the gift that you're carrying and the importance of it in this world, all of those lies will shrink away when you step into who you truly are. Put your crown back on, and we look forward to seeing how the world begins to change. First, starting with you, then in your family, then in your community, but it all starts with that choice. So, love you all. Have a great week. Bring some people back. Bring some young people back. Spread the word. Like the YouTube channel. Coach Farbell, BornCEO.com. The replays are there. And let's continue to go out there and make a huge difference. Pay attention to the Zoom link for next week, because I might set up a separate Zoom link for BornCEO Leadership Academy. So make sure you pay attention to your email. If you haven't registered, register at BornCEO.com/BCLA right here on the screen. And of course, all the details about what we do is at BornCEO.com. Love you all. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time.
Next time. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.